Hi guys, welcome back to Naturally Candid for this another live that is about to be filled with a lot of information. It's gonna be worth your while. Thank you for being patient with us. We were having a bit of technical difficulties, but we are now here and ready. Wow, must say everybody just a bomb rush to chat. So let me just look and see what some of the comments are saying before we just get into the live tonight. I like the fact that people are over here waiting. That shows me that y'all are interested in the topic that you're about to learn about tonight. So Jeffrey said, I'm too early tonight. Laugh out loud. Yes, Jeffrey, I'm not too early. Are we too late? It's Alexa. What kind of style is bro sis? Not gone already, All right, so I already explained to you that it was just technical difficulties. Thanks to the Heart Speaks who got my back. She said they are having technical difficulties. She actually called me to say, Shannon, what's happening? And Ray. And I was like, oh, we're having technical difficulties. So thank you for sharing that information with the rest of the NC gang. I'll be flipping the wall one here. You're not too late. You're actually early. You're on time. We're here for you. We're not gone anywhere. The Art Speak says, sending apologies on her behalf. They'll be with everyone shortly. Thank you for understanding. I'm so happy that people are over here and just, anxious to hear what we had to talk about tonight. That is a very good look, I must say. And I'm happy to know that I have my NC gangers over here and was just waiting on this wealth of information that they're about to receive. So tonight we're going to be talking about how you can trade on the JSE. And this would most likely go towards beginners, like persons who really don't have a clue about what to look for in trading stocks on JSE. You don't know what's the first step that you need to be taking. We're going to discuss all of that tonight. And tonight we have our amazing and awesome guests. And we have Mr. Winston Kennedy in the house
Hey, what's up?
tonight. So
Thank you for having me.
let's welcome Mr. Winston Kennedy to the NC gang tonight. Would you like to just go ahead and give the NC gang a little introduction of you? Who is Winston?
Well, Winston is just a ordinary guy, just like everybody else. Yeah, easygoing. I have a passion for investing. I've been doing it for a
Yeah.
while. Passion for business, and in in that field, because I did that's where I did my studies in marketing, and then went on to Mono School of Business. I did business administration and so forth. So I do like business, and yeah, that's
Wow, boy, Winston, I must say that from the first day I met you, because I remember meeting you at a function. I don't remember
yeah,
what function it was. And we just went straight into talking about trading stocks. Them time there, I have no clue, like absolutely no clue what it meant to really buy and sell stocks. And here you were, just giving me that wealth of knowledge. You actually opened my mind that there was a possibility of more, in
yeah.
Jamaica. So I must thank you for that, by the way.
You're
I'm not
welcome.
sure if I got the opportunity to have told you thanks for that. So I must thank you. And when I reached out to you to ask you, would you be okay to just share what you shared with me a couple years back with my NC gang, and you welcomed me with open arms. So I'm so grateful for that. You never had to do it, and the fact that you took your time to come here, it really, really, really means that you really take this investment thing serious. And you don't want to go up the ladder by yourself, so you want to take all the way. So I'm grateful. All right, so no further delay, because I feel like the NC gang been waiting for some time. So I'm just gonna go ahead and ask you the first question that I have on my list. And I also want to open the floor to you, my awesome NC gang, to ask whatever questions you have. If you are not sure about a concept and you really like to know, state it in the chat. I'll read it, and Mr. Ethan and I will do our best in answering. While we're at that, guys, please remember to hit the like, subscribe, share with friends, because you don't want to keep this information to yourself. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can know when next I upload. I am your girl Shannon, and we are just going to get right into it. It's Alex says, before I even get into it, says, I swear to God, I didn't even know that Jamaica had stocks. Laugh out loud. But think it was a foreign thing, probably sound ignorant. But that is why we are here, Alex. We are here to learn that there are opportunities here in Jamaica that the layman wouldn't even know. So we're there for help you. Don't worry about it, Alex. By the time you leave here tonight, you're going to look into it Tuesday morning when everywhere open up back. All right? Kade says, yes, we were waiting. Oh, I feel so loved over here. Sniffs, I'm proud of y'all, my awesome students. Winston, our students are very early tonight. I feel proud.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. All right. So the first question, with no further delay, is how long have you been buying and selling stocks? In other words, how long have you been trading stocks on the JSC?
Okay. Well, just a little disclaimer. So remember, we're not financial advisors. We're just
Oh
giving the
yeah, no,
information for
I tell them all the
educational
time.
and
I
the
tell them all
entertainment
the
purposes.
time.
So I'm just going to share some of my experience for educational and your entertainment
Yes. And this is
purposes.
Winston's experience, guys. It's not necessarily the experiences of everybody, but this is Winston's experience. Okay? All right. Go ahead, Winston.
Well, I've been trading stocks for about 10 years now. So started off. I mean, we were fresh out of university, my friend and I. And when we look at what we were getting on savings account, it wasn't anything
Very
substantial.
dim, very
Yeah, it
dim.
was really, really terrible. So we
Yeah.
started to explore other avenues, and we came across. And that's how we began.
And you see the need for wanting more. And I think at the time when you left university, it was a bit hard to get jobs per se in Jamaica. So at that time, you had to really evolve with the time and
Yeah,
create your own opportunity. And the stocks was there, as you said, it has been 10 years. The fact that you're still doing it means that some substantial amount of money was made, right?
we'll get into that later. But the thing is, when um when we started doing stocks, it was um, we were coming out of a recession, 2008 housing crisis that shook the world, and so 2008 coming into 2009, there was
Mhm.
things were kind of rough in the financial sector.
Right.
Certain major banks in the US were, they failed. And this was due to the 2008 housing crisis. So it was kind of a bad, kind of a good time to start because when things are down, when things are cheap, and because the stock market was falling, it didn't crash. The housing market crashed, but because so many persons have invested in real estate and they had so much loans and houses, people couldn't pay their mortgages, and as a result, that happened. But in that time, when you have a major financial crisis, sometimes that's the time that you can dedicate
Need to
getting things
invest,
pretty
right?
cheap. Yeah, so
Right. Wow, and it's funny that you might mention that because we do have a question for that in particularly, being
okay.
that we're experiencing the COVID-19 pandemic
Yeah, with the
right now.
pandemic.
It's
Hmm.
right on our heads. I know a lot of persons were doing some panic selling with their stocks. I didn't sell any of mine because I know that eventually they will be rising again. But we're
Yeah.
going to get into that when we get to that question. I don't want to fast forward too quick and then confuse the NC gangers. So I'm just gonna go and just float into that until we get there. When them understand a little bit more, then we just get right into that. All right, the
Mhm.
next question. What's the story behind it? I think you just told me the story, the entire housing crisis that happened in the 2007-8 time period. I
And we're
think
looking
that's
for
the
better
story.
interest. Yeah,
Right.
better interest rates on our investment as well.
Right. So was that the only reason why you started trading stocks, or it has always been something that you were interested in and you just decided to venture at that time?
Well, it was something that I have been interested in for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when it came out of probably a necessity and need because
Mm-hmm.
we realized what we were getting. We weren't going to make any money. The inflation rate was so high. So it savings it wasn't going to cut it. So we're trying different ways. We're trying everything, and and the easiest way to do that was to invest in stocks. because we didn't have enough capital to start a business. We're
Right.
fresh out of university. We just landed our jobs and we were just trying, something. So we didn't
Right.
have any capital to start a business and so forth. We weren't really thinking in that area. So we decided to stop. And stock was one way of you own a stock is basically, probably like a portion of a company, you get a share, and that means that you own a part of
You're
the
part owner
company
of
or
the company.
company or
Right.
organization. Yeah.
So while you would not be able to get your own startup, you would actually invest in another company and actually own part of it. Right.
Yeah,
So
and
that's
then
the whole
there.
idea of having a
Mhm.
stock. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you another question before I get into the next question. Do you think that trading stock is for everybody?
Uh, well, all right. For I think it depends on what your aim is, your financial goal is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you enter into the stock, you know that there are certain risks that is going to be associated
Associated.
with it.
Right.
So you have to think: are you willing to take those risks? And if you are, I would advise you to read as much information as possible. Speak to a broker from one of the financial institutions, and there are so many financial institutions. But I've spoken to a number of individuals, persons that I think they do not understand it, and as a result, they shy away from it. People fear what they do not understand. But
Right.
there's a wealth of information out there right now. You can go into any one of these banks. You can go on YouTube. You have channels such as Naturally Candid that
Yes.
that do provide information.
Right.
So there is a wealth of information out there. You can go to the Jamaica Stock Exchange as well and speak and get books and so forth. So I mean, if you're really interested in it, if you really want to understand how it works, go there and get the information.
All right. And then also I did also mention in a prior video how to make money online. Some different banking institutions that you can actually buy and sell stuff with. So after we're through with this live, you can definitely check those out. We're going to mention some of those institutions here tonight, but I'm just telling you the process and everything have been in that video, so you can also check out that video when you're done. I see Romaine Johnson asks, "Oh, exactly does stock exchange work?" Romaine, don't worry about it. We're going to get into it little by little. We're going to just take you through the entire process so you don't get left behind. All right. Romaine says, "I've been interested in this for so long, but didn't have any idea how it works." Well, guess what, Romaine? Ding ding! Naturally Candid has found a solution for you, and we're going to be talking about that tonight. Ronnie Holgate says, "Do you trade stocks or invest in the market? What's the difference?" Oh my goodness, Ronnie, it's interesting that you might ask Winston this question. We're definitely going to go into that question shortly. I don't want to just on a bright team, like my students just bright tonight. Or we're getting into that. Give us a few minutes and we'll go right into it. Natisha says, "Marich, I'm here. Welcome, Natisha. Guys, don't forget to hit like on the live, hit subscribe, share with your friends because you want all of us for rich. We don't want just go up there so by the top and we're lonely. We want our friends to come with us. All right, so share with your friends. All right, so let's get into the next question so we can answer and clear up some of Romaine's question and Ronnie's question. Next question. How did you start out really?
Well, how we started out, we spoke. So it's good to have people, it's good to have friends, and who are, they try to elevate you, try to empower you,
Yeah.
and they share information, knowledge with you. So as I said, my friend and I from university, we decided, all right, we're gonna try these different things, try to make some money on our money. We work hard for our money, so it's only right that our money work hard
We
for us
worked
at some point in
hard
time.
for the money.
And then at that time, the biggest bank that showed some level of, how should I put this? They were the only ones we knew about.
Consistency.
The only ones we knew
NCB.
about, yeah, NCB Capital Market. They were the only ones we knew about that was actually doing it. And so we approached a broker, an investment specialist, and then my friend spoke to somebody else, and they said, all right, this is the information that we got, and we discuss it and how we're gonna approach it. And then we said, all right, we're gonna do this, we're gonna try it because we've been watching it, and seems feasible, seems easy. And at that time, there wasn't I don't think there was much money to do it right back then. So we just opened an account with a small amount, and after that we continually add funds to it, because when you start an investment account, you can't just add it one time and expect. You have to grow, you have
Yeah.
to water it. It's like a garden, like a fruit tree. It's gonna bear fruit eventually. So you have to take care of it, you have to water it. So we consistency, and that consistent would be to every month or whenever you can, you just add some money to it. When you see a stock that's available, or that you think you're interested in, that's gonna do well, or if your broker advise you, then you can say, all right, I'm gonna buy, or buy this stock and see where it goes from there. Check and see how the company is performing, etc. All of that.
I hear you said small amount. What necessarily is small amount though?
Well, a small amount for me is different for a small amount for somebody else.
Yeah,
It
right. That's why I
varies.
want to know what your small amount is.
All right, so my small amount would be like probably like, I think, in my head that I've started up with, that I
Yeah.
can remember, is about $5,000.
Right. So that's why you started. Well, you can remember that you
But
started off
yeah,
with
that's what
around
I
five
might be
thousand.
wrong, might be more, might be less, but
I
in
mean,
my
it's
head it
10
was just
years.
it's been 5,000.
Yeah.
But what the key to it is to continually you just add funds to it. And I wouldn't recommend you using your bills that
Oh,
your
that's a
thing that you
risk.
used to buy food or pay rent or pay your light. I would not advise you to use your money to do stuff. What I would advise that you do is save some. If you need to save in order to invest, or if you don't have enough money, probably a secondary source of income, probably like a part-time. There's so many things you can do to generate additional income. So I would recommend those
You
avenues,
do
those
that.
paths.
All right. So basically, just to sum up a little bit for Romain and Ronique, a little bit just by the process that we're going, is that the first thing you need to do before you even consider buying and selling stocks is make sure that you do your research. Research is
Research.
important. Research is key.
Mm-hmm.
That way you will kind of eliminate some of the mistakes that I made, or maybe what Winston has made in the past as well. So the first thing
Mm-hmm.
you need to do is to research. Don't listen to the hearsays and people saying, "Oh, mega buy that. Oh, mega buy that. We need to go get into
Yeah.
that." No, you
Don't
can't.
watch the hype.
You can't watch the hype, because when it comes on to buying and selling stocks, it's a very aggressive form of investment. So you can actually lose your entire principal amount that you initially invested on the market. So you want to make sure that you do your research first. When you do your research now and you feel like you have adequate amount of information, then that is where the broker comes in. Now, when you do
Yes.
your first research on your own, then when the broker comes in, now is when you're going to find that particular bank that you are willing and able to use your broker to trade on the stock market, because we all need brokers. Let me go ahead and kind of reiterate on that. You will need a broker when it comes on to buying and selling on the JE. So brokers can be, some of the brokers I know of can be the JMB, NCB, Barita Investments, and about Sagicor as well. But for some of these brokers, they need a
JN Fund
lump
as well.
sum. JN fund as well. I never knew about JN, but you told me
Proven
now.
proven well does it, and Scotia
Proven
Investments.
and Scos and SSL, SSMC, and some others. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, VMBS.
It's
You
a
have a
lot
lot.
of, it's a
Lot.
wide range. So
So
I'm just
yeah.
throwing out some of them, but I know that for some of these entities, you have to have a lump sum to invest. However, I can buy or vouch for Sagicor and JMB when you are a newbie, when you're just starting out. I think you can have as small as $5,000. Don't quote me on this. Do your search and finalize that information. But JMB and Sagicor are two of the brokers that I know will charge you a little less. Not even a little less, a substantial amount less than the traditional banking institutions that are brokers. All right. So when you're going to look into that now, you remember the first step is to do your research. And then now you're going to go to your broker and get more information. Get more
Yeah.
information. And don't even stick to one broker. Go to the different brokers so you can choose the one that best serves you. So that is where we
Also,
are.
also, what I would advise that you do, so you collect as much information about the company as well that you're going to invest in. So when you get your broker, you have to research on the company,
Yeah.
and then
The
and then
same
probably.
company, the same company that is the broker. Yeah.
But yeah, the broker, so you need to get professional
Mm.
advice from a financial advisor. And then when you have decided that you're going to invest now, you research on the company that you're going to, that you're
You want
interested
to
in. You're going
interested
to buy
in.
shares or stocks in that company, you do some research. And after that, now you have to learn how to read financial statements. So you have to
Wait, no, wait, no.
understand.
Is that the all of the juice phone reach us yet? Well, I'm excited. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so excited about this stuff. It's not even funny. It's Alex says, "Oh, all this bro God. Why you want no bro God here? Just know say bro God has been trading for 10 years. All right." The art speak says, "Which bank? Yes, so we mentioned some like JMB, Sagicor, SSMC, Scotia, NCB, the whole works. So it's up on you to do your research and choose your brokers. All right." Natisha says, yes, what is small amount? And I think he answered that. He said he thinks that he started with 5,000 Jamaican dollars, guys. For my
Yeah, Jamaican.
international,
Let
yes,
us be clear on that.
for my international people who are watching, it's Jamaican dollars. That would be roughly around 40 something dollars, conversion to, well, just understand that it's 5,000 Jamaican dollars, 40 something US dollars or less. All right. The art speak says JMB, yes, said that's one of the brokers that we mentioned. The art speaks also says read 5G. Read the 5G. The 5G. Explain
Why
that to
is
me.
five
Yeah.
grand?
Oh, almost 5 grand. Almost 5 grand. Abby Fletch says, yes, she said JMB. So Diego Scott says, stock trading is buying a stock and selling it when the price changes. So you can do this all daily, weekly, monthly, short term, or long term too. Investing is buying a stock and holding it for a long term, 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
In yes, investing is holding for a term, but it can also mean investment in short term. So you can even buy it now, and once it gain profit, you sell it as it gain profit. That's also investment as well. Investment is just literally putting your money into a particular thing or entity and expecting to reap a financial profit from that. So it could be investment in a short term, being on the stock market, and it can also be investment in the long term. The R Speak says, cool. Abby Fletch says, what's the main purpose of the broker though? And we have to pay them, Winston?
Yeah. All right. So you have to have a broker. It's advised that you get a broker. So you have to contact a broker, and this is the person who is in the business of buying and selling shares. Brokerage firm authorized by the Financial Services Commission and the
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica Stock Exchange. So it's advised that you have
So
a
they'll be
broker.
like
You
the
have to
middle
go through a broker.
person.
Yeah, the middle person between you and
Yeah. So the
you
broker
can
would
visit
be
them, you can call them on the telephone, send an email, etc.
and
Because
and and
yeah,
they usually answer. I know for surgical answer emails very fast and
okay.
NJMB, so they answer quickly. So once you send them an email, you'll actually have a person that is assigned to you that will
Mm-hmm.
manage your queries. You can literally tell them in an email that, hey, I would love for this money to purchase X amount of stocks at X amount of price, and they'll go ahead and do the processing for you.
Yeah,
Also, some of these entities are now online. So you are now able to trade on your own through their platform. For example, I know JMB as JMB Moneyline. You can go on JMB website. You see all the stocks and you just choose the one that you want to purchase. Of course, they will be charging a brokerage and processing fee. So
that's a
don't think,
commission,
right. Don't think you're
and
gonna
they charge a cess as well,
says in
and
some cases,
GCT.
because they
Some
don't
yeah, well
always
in
charge
some
says. Yeah.
and GCT as well.
But that's where the charges come in. The charges come in when you are going to actually process a stock purchase or sell a stock.
Sale. Yeah.
Right. So that's where the pricing come in. You don't pay a monthly fee. I see like somebody's asking, do you pay your broker monthly? No, you don't pay a
No,
monthly fee. But you
there's no monthly
do,
fee.
yes, but you do pay fees for transactions. Diego Scott says, Abifetch, you can only access the financial market through a broker. Yes, precisely. It's Alex says, is there a lot of local investors or traders? Yes, you'll be quite surprised. No, that there are lots of investors and traders locally. Abby Fletch says, thanks, Diego. Ronick says, Moneyline, easy breezy. Yes, Moneyline, easy breezy. And I do also know that Sagicor has the option of the Dre Trader Pro platform where you're literally on the stock market purchasing, right? So Sagicor has a connection to that. So that's also easy breezy easy. Romario Thomas says, so how much is all the tax going to add up to roughly? It depends on the broker and it depends on what stock you are purchasing and how much you are
It
purchasing.
yeah, it mostly it depends on the broker, and also it depends on the how many stocks you're selling, because the more
Right.
you're selling or the more you're buying, then the fees
The
and the
fee gonna
commission
be
will be.
more.
But then there's a percentage, there is a percentage that is actually fixed at. So like I think the cess is 19.625%. The cess is charged, and that's pretty much standard everywhere. So it varies though.
Yeah, so it varies based on broker and the amount of stocks that you're going to be purchasing. All right, thank you, Winston, for that clarification. I don't see any more questions before I move to my next question. I didn't wrap up this question. So is all the tax going to add up to roughly? So we can't give you a rough
Yeah,
estimate
can't give you
because
a rough estimate.
because it depends on where you're going to use as the broker and how many transactions you wish to carry out. All right, so you have to do your research on that. Go to the broker, get some information, and move from there. Okay, so let me see. What's the process for trading stocks, Winston?
Well, well, the
I think we
process for
already started, but yeah.
yeah, so we have already started, but the process is pretty simple. As I stated first, you have to identify a broker, and you're going to identify the company that you which wish to purchase in. So probably one of those. There's over 100 companies that are listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. After you've done that, now you have to learn how to read financial statements. You have to read information. You have to learn to read financial statements. It's critical. You have to learn how to read the various information now that are presented based on the company, how the company is doing, what expansion, if they're going to expand into new markets, what the board of directors, etc., stuff like that. So it's pretty important that you get as much information.
And that information is usually presented in a document that we have for the IPOs called the prospectus.
Yeah,
So the
prospectus.
prospectus usually have all this information. We're not going to get into what the prospectus is yet. I do have a question for that.
Oh.
I do have a question for that. That's why I'm quickly saying, because I know I was about to get into it. I'm like, hold on, I have a question. All right, but we're going to get into the prospectus. But those financial statements, the information on the company, the longevity of the company, the potential of the company, the intended goals of the company are usually listed in the prospectus, but we're going to get into that a little bit deeper as we continue. All right. So next question. What's the time frame for trading stocks on the JC? And in other words, I'm asking, what time does the market open and close?
Well, the market, I think it's like 9:30, and it closes at like 1. But you do have the banks. Some banks might close at 12 p.m. But the Jamaica Stock Exchange, you can make a trade between 9:30 to 1 p.m.
All right. And so as you're saying, it also depends on your broker. Some of
Your
them
broker, yeah.
close earlier to give them time to do some information collecting and so on and so forth. All right. So that's 9 to 1. Some brokers 9:30 to 1 p.m. All right. What are the fees associated? We mentioned some of them already, and we
We
talk
have.
about the cess. We talk about the different transaction fees. I know that brokerage fees as well, and commissions and all of those things. So there are
Yeah.
different fees that varies based on your broker. So find out that when you're going to the broker for information, make sure you ask the broker. So what are the fees associated with when I'm doing a transaction at the entity? Make sure you clarify that so you can basically do an estimate of what your cost will be to purchase a stock or to even sell a stock. All right. They are usually very friendly and dare you to ask them questions. So even if you're going to go to them, and I don't think they're taking a lot of people in person now. So email is definitely the effective method during the COVID-19 pandemic. Don't be
Because of
afraid.
social distancing.
Yes, because of the social distancing and the lockdown and the whole works. So don't be afraid to reach out to the brokers. I think when you go there first, I think what they're doing now is they're doing client calls. So when you go on the website, you can book a consultation with them and somebody will reach out to you via email. But if you don't see that option, you can always Google the number for the particular entity, banking institution that you're going to use as your broker, and see if they can connect someone with you. All right. Listen, JB and Sajiko never pay me for the no advertisement, but I use them. I
So
use
they're the
them.
one that you're familiar with. They're the one
Those
that
are
you're
the ones
familiar
that
with.
I'm familiar
Yeah.
with.
So
So
I mean,
I,
if you
yeah.
have the information that on
So I'm
them,
just
sure, you
sharing.
can just go
Yeah.
ahead and share. Yeah.
So I'm just sharing with y'all what I know. When I was just starting out, it's as I said, Winston introduced me at first. So when I was just starting out, I later got introduced to these entities that are for small people like me when I was starting out, and I can start with like a little tip some money my try a thing. And I know that JMB and Sadiq were fostered that arena. So if you are like me and you just have this small little tips to really risk, then you can check out those entities for sure. I know that NCB requires a sum. I know that NTB requires a sum, and that's basically because they've been around for a while. So the big guns going cost more. You can check out those and make sure you ask about the fees. All right. Okay? How do you do your stock picks, Winston?
Well, I researched the company first and
Mm-hmm.
foremost. With different, I
But no,
actually
but you know which country you're interested in to go research the company.
are. It's based on. All right. So it's companies that have been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You look at their financial statements. You look at the prospectus for those that are IPOs, the ones that have been going on a bit longer. You can see them financial because once they're a publicly traded company, they have to issue out financial statements and so forth. So what can be done now? You can read up on that. You can read news, what they plan to do in the next 5 years, 10 years. You look at who the CEO is, who their board of directors are. Yeah, pretty much that. And then now, if they're going to any new technology, any new services, any new products that they're going to launch that can increase their value, increase their share of the market, increase profit, and so forth. So those are stuff that I look for when I'm choosing a stock.
And I want to just add to
And
what
also the
Winston.
dividends, the dividends that they
Ooh,
pay out, dividends. So, but that's for existing
yeah.
companies, dividends. If it's a new company like launching an IPO, no, you have the prospectus, and the prospectus is like marketing and legal documentation that gives the entire overall of what the business is. So it's everybody needs information before they invest, and the
Invest.
prospectus is one document that provides potential investors with information, description of the company's strengths and strategies, disclosure of historical financial information, all of that stuff.
And for those who are layman, I'm sorry, I can't wait until I get to the question. I just have to go in because him talk about prospectus. So I just have to tell you, IPA stand for Independent Public Offering, is so? Or
No,
offer?
the IPO is
IPO
initial. It's an initial public
initial,
offering.
right,
It's the
right. That's
first
what it
time
is.
Yeah, the first time a company
Yeah.
is going public, that's the
Public.
IPO.
Right.
An APO, which proven had an APO.
Just the
An
other
APO
day.
is an additional public offering. So they're issuing additional shares now to the public. They're already publicly traded, but they're issuing additional shares.
So the
Yeah,
difference between IPO and
it's the first
APO
time.
is that IPO is first time, APO is just
Mhm.
additional. All right,
Yeah.
so I like that because Mano says some people it might fly over them head because they were like, "What is IPO?" So it's the initial public offering. So this is when the company coming out for the first time to say that, look here, giving this amount to of the company to the public to take a part of it, take a piece for themselves, to own a piece of the company in your name. So
Hmm.
that's basically what that is. I also want to go ahead. I know that Winston was talking about all these fancy things like the news and the prospectus, and like all you people know all these things. So where you can find this information as well as the companies that are listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange is on the Jamaica Stock Exchange
Website, yeah. So it's
website.
jamstockex.com.
Jumpstock EX. Right. So you can go at jumpstockx.com.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where you're gonna find all the information on the companies that are listed on the market. You can find news over there. You'll see charts that you can actually look at to place your orders, and all the different options are there. The information for you, and for the companies that are just coming out, the IPOs that we mentioned earlier, you will see the prospectus on there as well. So once you're going to become a trader on the JSE, stay tuned to whatever the JSE website has posted, because that is usually where the newest information is. All right. Natisha says, based on your experience, Winston, do you find the companies who have been around been around longer,
Yeah, they
perform?
perform better than those that are
Oh,
just coming up
yeah.
and booming.
Yeah.
It not necessarily. Not necessarily. I wouldn't. All right. So is it that the companies that have been around, which means they have not been traded on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, but they have been around, but then after a period of time they decided to be a publicly traded company, or
Mm-hmm.
is it companies that have been publicly traded for a long time? So, so it could be either one of those, I'm guessing.
Answer both of them.
All right. So companies that are, let's start with companies that have been around longer and
But
have
not have
not
been
been on the
publicly traded.
publicly traded.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes yes, sometimes, but it depends on why they are raising the funds. Why are they going public? So if they're going public to expand into new markets, or if they're going public to expand into new markets and to probably to pay off debt or do something, then the price would not move that well if it's just if they have a lot of debt, right?
Right.
But if they don't necessarily have a lot of debt and they want to expand the company, new markets, new products, new services, sure, you can see that they are going to perform. And the stock might go up, might go down. It depends on a number of factors. And sometimes it might take a year, 2 years before you actually see any real growth. So it varies. And also for the companies that have been listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange now, those companies are publicly traded companies, so they have to disclose the interest of
Information.
everybody is have to be taken into consideration. So they are
Mm-hmm.
publicly traded, so they have to provide the financial information, they have to follow the regulations, and they have to be audited, and the information disclosed publicly to all the shareholders, etc. So they have to follow certain rules and guidelines. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they can perform, or they might not be performing based on your expectation, based on the shareholder expectations.
So
So this it
basically, then Winston, you just cannot be too sure
sure, yeah.
about any stock that you
Unless
purchase
unless you watch the information, you
unless you
know
watch
that
it.
this is a really good company, a really good, and some of them have been performing consistently well. So some like Jimmy, Grace Kennedy, those those are solid companies.
And if you
Definitely
look at
solid
Grace, if
companies.
you look at Grace Kennedy, I don't think they're going anywhere soon because I don't know about you, but if I look in my kitchen, everything in there that is canned item is from Grace.
Mm-hmm.
My ketchup is from Grace. Bully beef. Well, people call it corned beef.
And
Butter bean,
yeah,
mackerel, pepper, everything comes from Grace. So you know that Grace have a very long,
yeah,
long,
over
long
100 years.
time. Right.
So,
So
so they
those
have
are
history.
that's one of the If you look at banks,
NCD is one bank
yeah,
that they have one stock is worth over $100.
right.
So some companies they are consistently performing, and if you watch the
Right.
trajectory of if you go on the Jamaica Stock Exchange website and you look at their website, you can see companies that have been performing over 1 month, like a 30 days, 3 months, which is like 90 days, 6 months, 180 days, and a 1 year, 364, a leap year, 365 days. So you can actually see how the chart moves. If it's going up, down, you can see um, where the support and resistance are. And for persons you don't
You
know what
talk
support are.
strong now. You talk strong. Kind of break it down little for people who don't know.
All right, so all right, so just watch the charts
Right.
and see where it's where it would go high, right?
Where
The
it's at
highest
its
is going to be sell for.
highest and where it's at
Yeah,
its
it's gonna be
lowest.
yeah, how much persons are bidding for it, what did it close for yesterday or the day before over 6 months. So you can actually see if it's going up. If it's going up, then you know that okay, all right, this seems
It's
to
in
be
an
a company that's
uptrend.
growing. It's a
Mm.
growing concern. So there's growth. But if it's like probably flatlining and then dipping, share value is dipping, then probably you need to do some more research, speak to advisor and see all right, what is happening with the company,
On
find out
that
some more
one.
information. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, Winston, for answering that question. I see Ronique also has a question and she asked, what are some of the things you look for in a financial statement? I actually have a question for that. So let's just hold on to that question a bit because I don't want to answer that question too early to confuse those who are watching. But we're going to get to that. And additional question to that question, she said, do you consider P/E ratio? I don't
Profit
know
to
about
equity ratio.
Oh, okay, okay. You see, me never look for that yet. But we're going to get to that question shortly. All right. Romaine Johnson says, is there an app that can keep me up to date with the stock market? Actually, there are many apps out there. There are persons developing apps that are actually taking charges for them though. So you might have to pay a
Oh,
monthly fee. For some of them, you might pay a monthly fee. I know the particular one that I use give you four stocks for free, but you have to pay for the additional plan to get more stocks. So I'm going to share that one that I use with you because unnaturally candid we're in the habit of sharing. So I'm just looking for the
the
name of
Jamaica Stock Exchange, you can go on Play Store if you have Android. For those of us who have Android.
no man, the
Uh,
JSC. You go and look at the information, which is
oh
this
yeah,
right,
it is.
which is
Yeah, that
right
one. That's the
here.
app. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
that
app.
you got to look up for information, but I think he's asking for apps that you can literally keep check of your stock. So you don't have to literally go on the JC to search for the stock that you have. But I do know about apps. You can also go on Play Store for Samsung phones. You can go on the Play Store and you can actually look for apps. That's what I did, and I found one in particular that was very effective. But I only got to see four stocks for free. It looked like I took it
Okay.
off this phone. It looked like I took it off this phone because the space I had spacing problem as usual. But I do know that one was sit here, sit here. Say the name of the app is Watch. Let me click it. Let me see if you're seeing it. Are you guys seeing it? Hold on. Here we go. So here it is. The name of the app is Watch. And as you can see, let me move this out the way. I added 1, 2, 3, 4. It actually holds 5 for free. So I have 5 stocks there, and you can see that it's Carreras, JMMB Global, Select Funds, Trans Jamaica Highway, Wisynco are those that I'm looking at. But if I want to add more stocks to this one, I will definitely have to pay for it. All right. So this is one of the apps that you can use, Romain, and it's called the Watch app, and you can download it from the Google Play Store. I don't know if iPhones have that app because sometimes in the Apple Store it's different from the Google Play Store. But I know for certain that for the Google Play Store, the app is the Watch app, and the icon. Let me show you the icon quickly. It's very effective. This here is the icon, this little W right here with a circle around it. So you can install that to keep you updated as to your stocks that you've purchased. JSE has its app, yes, for sure. Natisha says, so your best bet is to use the JSE Stock Exchange as a guidance, but bear in mind it's a gamble. Certainly. When it comes down to investments, is nothing sure. You do have the safer options, but stock is very aggressive, so you can't to buy nothing off it. This minute it will be up, the next minute it fall right down. Right, Winston?
Yeah, it is, but historically speaking, the stock market does perform in when it's in its boom, when it's in its bust over a period of decades,
Yeah.
it has given returns up to 10% consistently.
Right.
So are even more because remember, if you choose good stocks, then you'll be getting more than 10%. And there's no savings account that I know that is giving you 10%.
Nope. As a matter of fact, your savings account is not even passing inflation percentage. So
No, it
stocks,
doesn't.
so stocks is an option. When I say this in multiple videos that I've shared on my channel, that when you save, you're actually operating at a loss. Because every time you put your money in the bank, you are losing. And I do know that some banks are now charging you to save money in their institution. So you're actually losing by saving. So the only thing I would advise you to save for is probably your emergency fund or to invest. Save
Yeah,
to invest.
and as I stated before, you shouldn't put everything in
Nope.
stocks. Even though it's very liquid because you can cash out
Yeah,
pretty
but you
quickly.
can cash out at a loss too.
Loss, yeah. So if you're going to invest, you ensure that you have an emergency fund,
Emergency
and
fund.
you need savings. I'm not saying saving is bad, but
You
something your
need
car
it.
might break down. You might have an emergency,
You need
all
an
of that.
emergency.
I need an emergency
I
fund.
always preach emergency fund. I do also have a video. I think I have 2 videos talking about emergency funds and oh, you can save towards your emergency funds. So if you don't know what that is, you can check that out after you're through watching this live. And thank you so much for those who have just joined. Don't forget to hit like on the live, hit subscribe, and join the family. Share with your friends because we don't want to keep this information to ourselves. All right. So that brings me to my next question. Winston, are you ready?
Okay,
Are you ready, Winston?
I'm as ready can be.
I'm not sure if you answered or you picked your stocks though.
Yeah, I did. I state
Oh.
get as much information about the company, look at how it performs, financial statements, who runs the company, board of directors, CEOs,
Mm-hmm.
what they plan to use the profits for, investment, new markets, are they going into new markets, new products, new services, etc. Stuff like that.
Dividends.
Dividends payout is important to me because it's a win-win because if the company is doing really well, the board of directors might decide that they're going to pay out the dividends and they pay it
Yep.
out based on how many shares you have. Well, not how many shares you have, but uh, the percentage,
Per
like probably
share.
per share is probably like a
Mm.
40 cents, 50 cents, or
Yeah.
something of that sort, depending on the company's profitability.
And when it's
So,
a
and
40 cents, and when it's a 40 cents, 50 cents per share, that's actually a good paying dividend.
yeah, that is a good paying
Yeah.
dividend so far. Because if you have like a couple thousand, yeah, you couple
No, it's
thousand
good
times 50
sum.
cents, 40 cents, yeah, you get back. And then how often they pay out the dividends as well. So yeah,
That's
how often they pay
important.
out the dividends is that. And then also when they're giving you dividends and the value of the stock is rising, that is also, I mean, that is good as well. So it's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I did mention in one of my latest videos 12 side hustles that you can do while living in
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica, I did mention dividend payouts because I remember at that time I get a nice piece of coming out in the mail. I go to the mail to the post office to collect my mails and
Yeah.
saw this one particular mail that just opened up my eyes, but just get excited. So I shared it in that video. So you guys can definitely consider dividend payments because that's passive income. Like
It is.
you did the work one time and you find the stock that paid you well and it just pay you over and over, generate income for you. So
Mm-hmm.
you can certainly, when you're picking your stocks, to look for dividend stocks. I'm also going to share another strategy of which I'm aware of. I think for you, Winston, you're more of a long-term trader,
Yeah, I am.
right?
I
And I
buy and
do,
hold.
yes, and I do know that there are persons who buy and they go for penny stocks so that they can get a quick profit, sell it out back, and then invest in the larger ones that they'll hold over time. So no person split their portfolio into growth stocks and income stocks. The income stocks are the ones that would actually generate an additional stream of income for you, just as the name suggests. And growth stocks are usually the ones that they hold over a period of time because
Yeah.
over time they're expected to grow. An example of that would have been Wisynco, and we've seen how Wisynco has been growing since it has listed on the Jamaica Stock
Yeah,
Exchange.
it is. For me,
Right.
it is one of my best performing stocks so
It's one
far.
of my best performing stocks too, and I know of Carreras too that I would definitely have that in the growth column because over a period of time that would definitely get a certain type of
And VMBS does well. So you
yeah,
have
a lot
VMBS
of
for
them.
me. Yeah, there's a number of companies.
So guys, the arrow will show the nice gems for y'all so you can look into those companies as well. Read up the financial statements, look on the information, decide for yourself if this is a company that maybe I need to launch into to take a little leap of faith with and see if you want to get onto that as well. Anything else you want to add before we continue, Winston?
No, that's about it. Yeah, that should be about it.
All right. So I see Natisha asked a question that I'm going to shortly. So I'm not even going to read it yet. I'm going to read it, but we're not answer it yet because I'm going to that question shortly. Natisha says, do you find that stock performing good during this pandemic? Any company at all? Hold on, Natisha. We're going to get there shortly. All right. For beginners, can you explain what IPOs and prospectuses are? And we don't explain all of that again,
Yeah,
but
we
I
did
guess
cover that one as
yes,
well.
but I guess we can reiterate a little bit for those who are just joining. So IPOs are initial public offerings. So that means
Mm-hmm.
this company is being listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange for the very first time.
First time, yeah.
Yes, so they're opening up their company to include you as the public to become a part of it or to have part ownership in that
Yeah,
company, right? And usually, when a company is going to be listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange as an IPO, they normally put out a prospectus that will give you, the outside individuals, some information as to what is happening with the company. And it is your duty to read the prospectus carefully to see some of the information that you would need to decide if this company is going to be going further or this company might have bankruptcy on their hands and just need your money to clear it. All
well,
right.
well, not necessarily
Winston,
the bankruptcy. I hope not, but they are audited
we
enough.
hope not.
They are audited enough. So before they can actually list, they're actually audited, and they have to
Yeah,
the
man, I know,
prospectus.
but some of them will
It says
have
a marketing and
loans.
legal documentation. So they provide
Mm-hmm.
all the information on it. And if you're not following certain rules, you can be removed from the Jamaica
Yep.
Stock Exchange. And I know of one or two companies that have been removed because there were some I guess they weren't following the rules or the regulations.
All right. I would want you to list them, but then again, I don't want to get in any trouble for that. So we're going to leave it out of this.
Yeah.
All right. So, but like Winston said, some companies have been removed. It could have been for violations, or some of them just come out of the stock market as well. All right. Next question. What are your thoughts about the market in this pandemic? As Natisha, I think she asks a similar question to that.
Um I mean there has been a lot of panic selling. Um there has been a number of panic selling, and we can understand why. Because when there's a massive pandemic, or it was something major that is affecting every single individual, this is global.
Yeah.
Uh, you have to be cautious, especially with if you invest a lot of money on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, or just any stock exchange. But it seemed like the U.S. Stock market, there were some that were performing really well, and there have been companies there that have performed well still. I mean, Grace Kennedy was one that during the pandemic, they still was doing okay or doing well.
So
So there have
do you trade on the US stock market?
no, I don't trade on the U.S. stock market, not the
Okay.
Dow Jones or the Nasdaq or
Well,
the
maybe that's something
500.
I need. Maybe that's something I need to consider to get here for my NC gang. NC gangers, would you be interested to know how to trade on the US stock market? State it in the chat section so I can know if I must bring that information to you. Okay, Winston, you can continue. Sorry about.
No, man, that is absolutely fine. So
Thank you.
so there have been companies, and you have to look at the list of companies. You can look at the Jamaica Stock Exchange website and see those that have been consistently been performing. Yeah, they might dip, but it's not to a huge percentage. They don't lose 20-30% of their value. And there have been a number of persons that have been buying up because now is the opportunity to get in these stocks cheap, because when the market is booming, I mean, that's when they're really expensive and hard to come by. But now
Right.
everybody's selling, so it's like a clearance sale, going out of business sale. I mean, not going out of business, but you get the gist, you get the
I
idea.
get the
So
business.
yeah, so when you have a pandemic or a major crisis, sometimes it's good to buy. You buy cheap, but you just have to just watch the company. Sure that you watch a company and you get advice on these companies. You see one, two, or three, four companies you're interested. Speak to your broker, speak to your financial advisor. I'm interested in these companies. Do you think that they will be around 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Do you think that they will survive this pandemic right now? Because
Mm-hmm.
if not, then I do not want to go and invest my money. Because yeah, they might be cheap, but then a couple months from now, they might not be around. So you have to think about that.
And then just to add to what you said, Winston, guys, I don't want you to just think on just relying on your broker to give you information, because remember there are brokers here that will actually give you incorrect information or information that best suits their particular trading style. So you too need to have a little knowledge about what you are getting into so that you are not misled in any way, shape, or form. Right? So you want to make sure that you have the information at hand for yourself, and you also reach out to the broker and see where you guys can go from there. I see the art speak says yes, please. So that means she wants to see how you trade on the US stock exchange. So I have to go scoop up somebody, find out who do it, get come on here and we'll talk about it. Natisha said thanks for those gems. So Winston, Natisha says thanks.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, Natisha. For those just joining, guys, just a reminder: don't forget to hit like on the live, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel, join the NC gang, and let us keep up with this information. We can't afford to leave anybody behind. So share, subscribe. We're on our journey to 2K subscribers. Help me, help us, help the whole of we to get there. All right. Next question. How long do you normally hold your stocks, Winston?
Um,
Interesting question.
it depends on the company, depends on the. So if you're investing, you could be investing, just like when you're saving to buy a house or buy a car, or further education. You could be invested in stocks for a particular reason, probably long-term pension. You think that you'll get a bigger, better returns on the stock market, to probably buy that car, buy that
Mm-hmm.
house, pay down on that house. So for me, I hold it because I know it's a long-term thing. I know that the companies that I've invested in, they will be around for a while, and these are companies that have been around for a while, and they're trusted, they're audited, and I know that they're going to branch off into new markets, new products, new services that will generate profit. So I want to hold on for as long as I can. If I see where I can make more money elsewhere, then I might sell one and two stocks and invest that money into something else. So my financial needs will be different you from our guests, from the people who are watching this. So it's based on what you want from investing in the Jamaica Stock Exchange. So you have to know, you have to have a goal. Where do you want? Why are you investing in the Jamaica Stock Exchange? Why are you buying stocks? Why are you buying shares? So, yeah.
Okay, so basically, just having a goal can give you a little bit more
A guidance, yeah.
clarity,
So when you
clarity
have a
and
goal,
guidance.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So back to Ronnie's question. I think Natisha brought us back there. Thank you, Natisha. So Natisha says, I think Ronnie asked, do you consider PE ratio when you're reading the financial statements?
Well, all right. So you have the return on equity.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the I think it's profit ratio. But profit to equity ratio, I should say. So the profitability ratio is based on the I think it's the share, how much money or how much each shares will you will get on it. So yeah, I do take into consideration that when I'm buying, but it varies because you can have a company, as you're saying, you buy the shares basically to trade, daily trade. You buy and sell because you want some income shares, income stocks. That was it, and you have those for growth. So it varies. Everybody financial goal is different.
So basically we should look at the PE ratio.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
and the returns
And
on
the
equity as
returns
well.
on equity. Okay. Just to clarify to see if that's what Natisha was asking. Natisha, let me know if your question was answered. Um of course, Natisha said, of course, I would appreciate the Knowledge Trading International too. All right, Natisha, I'll take that up as an offer for you guys. I'll definitely see if I can source people for that. Ronique says, okay, cool. So I guess that answered Ronique's question as well. So Winston said he is a long-term trader. He normally holds his trades based on the goal that he has in mind. So it's usually an overtime thing, whether you want to buy a house, whether you want to buy a car, whether you want to have it for retirement. All of these things are things to consider when trading stocks. And pretty much anything in investment, it's very key for you to have a goal, so you know exactly what you're working towards, so that you don't feel like you're just out there doing stuff and end up losing and blowing your account. All right. So let's move on to the next question. How do you read the charts for information? A lot of people might be wondering how we can possibly read the chart to get a little piece of information on the company or the
Well,
company's
all
movement.
right. So the Jamaica Stock Exchange. I mean, I will always refer to that because they're like the go-to guy,
Definitely.
information, and they can provide you with any information that you might require. So there are some charts. So remember, I was speaking to about the 30-day, which is like 1 month,
Right.
3 month, which is like 90 days,
Mm-hmm.
the 6 month, 180 days. So when you click on those, you will see the charts change because it's how you perform over how the stock is performing over a period of time. So
Right.
if you want to see how it's been performing for 1 month, you can click on that and it shows you the trajectory. I normally do it I look at all the time period, the time
I
lapses.
was just
So
going to ask that if you look at a top-down analysis, like the harvest time, and then you take time and come down to the 1 month
yeah,
period.
I do that at times. So
Okay.
it's what can I compare it to now? Sorry, it's you will see on the Jamaica Stock Exchange that the chart has resistance and it has supports. So the resistance would be like the highest point that it would go, like it would climb, and then
Mm-hmm.
afterwards it would dip because they go up and down. That's the Jamaican
Right,
stock.
that's
A stock
right.
will go up and down, and then the support now it's the lowest point that it will go. So it more or less won't pass that support level unless something really bad happens, like
Especially,
probably a pandemic, and it would just
especially if
dip
it keeps,
further.
going to that level and pushing back up. So you have to
Yeah.
look for
So
those key things too.
and you look on the they have information such as the 52-week high, the highest it has been over
Mm-hmm.
a year or over a period, how much it opened yesterday, how much it closed for
Mm-hmm.
the day. So stuff like that you have to look at, and then you can say, okay, all right, I think it's a good company, or no, I'm not interested in this company. I don't think it's going to perform, or based on what the broker or your financial advisor
Mm-hmm.
tell you, and so forth. So you just have to just watch the charts and get as much information. Go on YouTube, do some research on your own, and
Right.
and then you will start to understand. So you will not grasp everything one time,
One
and don't
time,
beat
and
yourself
you
up.
might have to
Don't
watch
get
the and you might
frustrated.
have to watch the live over and over and over for certain information to stick. And that's why I'm actually bringing it here, because for me to get it, I'm still learning right now. But for me to even get a bit of an understanding of what it really entails, it took me a whole heap of repetition. Like, people had to
Yeah.
repeat it to me over and over.
And we are
And
habitual creatures.
yeah,
So, when we
yeah.
get into a habit and then we start to learn and we start to understand, and repetition is good
Yeah. So
in
if you're
some
not
instances.
so if you're
Some
not
instances.
getting it now, do not fluster yourself. Just watch over the live and take your time. Give yourself time. Be patient with your time with yourself to understand. Right? So, Winston, when do you think the best time for people to buy stock? When it is ye high at the resistance level,
No.
or ye low at the support zones?
Uh, um, for me, I would think that the, for me, I would buy within the pandemic, because then I would get stocks cheap. So stocks that would be extremely expensive, or um, you probably wouldn't get it, because sometimes you put in an order and you don't get the stock immediately unless you're buying at market level, and sometimes you don't want to buy it at a market price, so you just wait until something happens. Probably do a stock split. Yeah, you can buy during a stock split as well. So when
Right.
the company's stock.
But
Um,
what about the Winston? Because you said you'd buy in the pandemic. Aren't you afraid of a market crash? Because I know that might be in the back of the mind for some people.
yeah,
So some
yeah,
people might be saying, Jamaica is such a small country, and the stock market is not performing so well right now due to the pandemic. So they're probably thinking that the stock market is going to eventually crash. So what do you advise as it relates to that now? Because I know a lot of persons are
yeah,
scared
and
that it might
that is what
crash.
happened. There were a lot of panic selling.
Selling, right?
Yeah, so a lot of people they did panic
Whew,
selling, and as a result, things were going pretty cheap, because it's
dirt
based
cheap,
on supply and demand. You have more sellers than buyers, and as a result, when you have the supply is greater than the demand, the price will fall. So
right?
basic economic principle. But I think I would still buy. I would be cautious. I wouldn't put everything in it, because we're in a pandemic and you need to have cash.
Right.
Unless you're gonna have that cash in your bedroom under
Bed
your
under the
mattress.
bed,
Mattress.
or in
If
a
it's in a
savings
bank,
span.
and yeah, if it's in a bank and the bank goes, well, bank
Same.
goes,
It's the
your
same, and
money
it's the
goes.
same,
So
and it's
stock
the same
goes,
for the
your money goes.
same.
Yeah, so
And that's why they said too that you must diversify your portfolio.
diversify your portfolio.
Right. So if something happens to one aspect of the stock market, at least you're able to benefit from another aspect. Because I do see somebody here asking about equity/stock account. We're going to get into that shortly. I do have both of them. I want you guys to understand that those accounts are two different accounts. One is a little bit safer than the other, and the equity account is usually when the company actually handles your money for you. So they're the ones who choose the stocks, enter the market, and do everything with your money. While the stocks account, you literally have to look on the market yourself and tell the brokers what you would like them to purchase with your money.
But
right?
there are companies
Yeah.
that actually send you information about the stock markets in
Yeah,
your email. So
man.
if you sign up,
Right.
they can tell you whether to buy, to hold, to sell. So you do
Right.
have companies
Our
that actually do that.
suggestions.
Yeah, so they make
Yeah.
suggestions and recommendations to you.
Hmm.
But as I said, you need to diversify your portfolio so you don't put everything
In
in
one
stocks.
one
So
in
you don't
everybody.
exactly you don't test the
Exact
depth of a
basket.
river with both feet. With
Nope.
both yeah. So you just have
Yeah.
to just take it one step at a time, test the water, because you might drown.
I have to
You don't
understand.
know how deep it is.
Yes, I have to understand that buying and selling stocks is a risk. So you don't want to put all your capital in this risk because you say no one I say I can make a big money off of this. No.
You don't
I
gamble.
know that a lot of
It's
us
not a casino.
you can't gamble your money like that, especially in the pandemic. I know a lot of us are very big risk takers and we're very heavy with the hands. But guys, I am just warning you: do not put all your capital in investing in the stock market. I would normally advise people. Mark you, I am not a licensed financial advisor, neither is Winston. We're just sharing our experiences. So you don't have to listen to what we have to say, but we are just talking from experience, which is the best lesson.
Yeah,
All
so and
right.
I always recommend persons speak to a financial advisor,
Financial
read,
advice.
research, get as much information as you possibly can
Right.
before making a decision.
Right. So for me, I would normally like tell people make sure you have an emergency fund before you go in and just delve into the stock market like that because you don't want to invest the money that could have been your emergency fund for a need. And then
Hmm.
you just wish you wish you never did what you did. But make sure that you have an emergency fund and the money that you're investing in the stock market. Also think about it and make sure there's money that you are willing to lose. If you're not willing to lose that money, do not enter the stock market with it. All right. I'm asking a question here from Shandy Hamilton. What is the first step you need to do in buying stocks in JA Stock Exchange? We mentioned it quite a few times earlier, but I'll just go ahead and mention it again for your purpose. And the first step is to do research. So you have to research
Yeah, research.
the companies that you are interested in as well as the brokerage companies that you are interested in. Those are two different things. The companies that you're interested in to buy into, that's one, and the companies that you're interested in to operate as your broker. Now, the broker would basically be middle managers, so they're the persons who you have to contact and buy the stocks through them. Good. So the first thing is to do your research on both companies that you're interested to buy shares in and companies that you're interested in for brokerage accounts. That's the first step. Natisha says, yes, you answered. Thanks. Lucas, hola, may I skip people? Hola, may I skip people? Lucas AJA says, Shandy, you need to open an equity or stock account. Speaking to the broker would definitely be the first thing before even opening an equity or a stock account. Diego Scott says, for charts, first thing you need to know is how to read candles. And it's
Yeah,
not just,
candles.
yes, and it's not just candles, there are other options on there too. You have your bar chart, you have the candles, you have,
Moving average
but
and RSI and
move,
support.
yeah,
This
this
person knows a
person
lot.
knows, right. But we
For
remember, and
beginners, they would not know what these
don't
things
know
are.
and moving
Definitely.
all these are also on forex charts, but we're not going to
Forex.
get into that as
That
yet.
no.
We're gonna leave that out for tonight because we're talking about stocks, buying and selling stocks on the JSC. Support and resistance of which Winston touched a little bit off. Moving average for sure and the candlesticks. The thing about the JSC though is that it moves slower. So you can't necessarily pinpoint a particular formation that will tell you where the market is going to be going quickly. But you know that over time it has been, when you're looking at the pattern, if it has been climbing over time, then you know the direction of the market. So candlesticks, very important to give you that information. You do have the bar charts for persons who have a problem. I remember when I was just introduced to buying and selling stocks on JSC, and Winston come to me about candlestick. I say, Winston, talk English
It's
because
the Japanese. The
I
Japanese came
don't
up with the
understand the
candlesticks. So
Japanese
they
English.
were the originators.
Right, and they're most effective apparently based on what I've been seeing and observing
Yeah,
so far. But Winston had to break it down for me in bite-sized pieces and show me the bar charts and the line graph, because the candlesticks were like rocket science at the time when I was just being introduced. But yes, for the charts, you definitely need to know how to read these things, and you can get that information on the internet and
definitely.
YouTube and all of those sources, right? Lucas AJA said, with a stock brokerage or investment financial institution, example, JMB Investments, Barita, NCB Capital Market, VM Wells, Scotia Investment, Sagicor Investment,
Yeah,
JN Fund
those are
Managers,
all
name,
financial.
and
Yeah,
right, and all of
so
those,
you
I
can check
think,
those out.
as brokers, and we mentioned those earlier too. So
Yeah,
wow, thank
and
you
and
for
and
reiterating.
and remember, and it varies in terms of the amount to start up,
Yeah,
because
and the
with Mayberry,
fees.
some Mayberry will be different from JMB Investment, different
Yeah.
from NCD. So you just it's good to shop around, good to shop around
So
and
so
find one that
shop around.
suits your needs. And I think I would recommend one that has an online trading platform.
Yes, and guys, like I said, Sajikor JMMB did not sponsor this video, but
But
because
you're giving them a shout out.
because I know them and I've had good experience with both of them, I can say for sure that those two entities are for the starters. If you're just going to start trading, buying and selling stocks, those two will foster the least amount out of all these other institutions. You can also check the other, if you have a big lump sum and you just want to invest, you can check out the bigger institution that have been around for some time. All right. Shandy Hamilton, thanks for responding. You're welcome, Shandy. Over here in NC family, we always respond. We talk to everybody because guess what? We're all here to learn. Lucas JA says each institution has the same KYC requirements to open an account, source of funds, job letter. Oh yes, we forgot to mention that, Winston. Source of funds, job letter, pay slips, national
Mm-hmm.
ID, TRN or social security, proof of address, etc. They differ in the amount of money, as Winston rightfully said earlier, not too long ago. And they also differ in terms of fees for when you're buying and selling stocks.
And the
Lucas,
commissions.
yes, and commissions. Lucas JA says need to open the account, and of course the fees. They okay. Should mention it there too. You're welcome, Shandy. Lucas JA says you can speak to the broker on the day you plan to open an account. Simply research the fees and requirements to open the account with the institution. Choose one and then visit and open the account. All of that was said earlier in the live. So see, people actually over here who know the things them,
Yeah,
who
I
are
mean
learning
they
the
have the
things them,
information. They have
they
the
have the
information that
information.
this Lucas AJA sounds like this person has
Somebody has
actually
been trading.
done the research. So you,
Yeah,
if you have not started to if you haven't invested, you're actually on the right path because you're getting the information. But if
you're
you have
getting it.
already if you're an investor, then you know your stuff.
Right. You're very good. And I'm glad that they even reiterated, because we mentioned this earlier, and to come, and for those who are just joining, the reiteration is good, right? Lucas AJA also says JMB money like I love to. I love them. I say I love them bad, 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 bad. All right. So I see I have somebody else that shares the same sentiments. Same Lucas AJA says laugh my ass off. Know the thing, them. I know you know the thing, them. It's quite obvious. All right. So that brings me to the next question. So we're coming down now, guys. We're coming down. Do you always choose winning stocks, Winston? If not, how do you overcome the disappointment? Because while we love to smile for the winning ones, when we lose one, or what we can tell them to kind of give themselves a little boost to continue and come back again.
Well, winning stuff. It's a how do I address this one now? All right, sometimes it's sometimes not necessarily a winning stock. Sometimes you just buy it at the wrong time. So I've bought stock when it's high, and then it it just did something happens in the market, something happens, and it just did. Um, and as a result, you lost some money there. You can wait until it picks up. It might take a while. Some recover faster than others. Um, or you can, to offset, you can buy additional shares. What I would do, me personally, what I've done in the past is that I've just bought additional shares
At the low
um,
price,
at the low price.
just to withstand the amount that you would have lost when you
Yeah.
buy too high. That's a good
hmm
idea. For
And
those who are listening, make sure you're taking notes.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
and then what I did, I speak to the one of my financial advisors because I have a few financial advisors,
Phew!
and I would
Money, oh, money, oh.
no, it's good to have multiple. It's good to get
Yeah.
a lot of opinions, a lot of advice, but not too much. Just the ones that are trusted and proven. So they've given you good information over the years. All right, definitely I can count on this person. I can call and say, yo,
Right.
this is what I think about this share. This is what has happened, and they will explain it to me
So
if I
do you
don't
have to
understand.
pay them for this service all the time when you call them, or it's
No,
a
not
part?
really. It's
Okay.
yeah, not really. But there are different investment instrument that I'm involved in because I have mutual fund, which is a total different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so unit trust and so forth. So which
And
is
bonds.
bonds, yeah. So that's just different from they're all investment instruments, but it's different from the stock market.
And some
But
take a longer time to
time
yield
and some
to
are
yield
safer than
profits.
others.
Right.
Yeah, so
So
it
it,
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 it
it
all depends
varies
on your risk appetite.
appetite. So I would say it depends. I would just buy more, but it depends on the market, depends on what is going on. You have to keep abreast with what's happening in the market. You have to read, you have to stay on top of the information.
So how
And
often do you do that?
um I read, I get information because it comes to my email. So I would probably take a few minutes and just look through what they send me. And then I would just go on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, go on like company information or information that they would post about the company, and I'll just quickly read it. It's in your best interest, It's your money. I
And you do
mean,
it every
yeah,
day
yeah, every day, every day.
religiously.
Yeah, religiously. I mean, I
Right.
might miss 1 and 2 days depending on what is happening. Um, in the day. So if I have a rough day, I might not be able to, or a hectic day, I might not be able to follow it. But then next day, I would like, oh, I wonder what's happening in the stock market. I would just look, oh, it's over a couple of days. All right. And then if there's an IPO that's coming out and there's big buzz around it, then no, I'll definitely read. But sometimes you might not have enough cash, but you might have a stock that you might think that, okay, I'm gonna sell this stock and use that money to invest in this new IPO. And people have done it all the time.
And
So
I
that
remember even with the Trans Jamaica Highway, a lot of people withdrew their money from the stock market to invest in that
oh,
particular stock. So you
they
find
did.
other stocks were tanking.
I
Jamaica
heard,
they were preparing.
I heard about it. I just never. I was like,
Yeah,
what? That really happened? I'm like, whoa!
yeah.
And then there was an extension on the IPO, and it was
Which
being yeah, it was crazy promotion for the
yes,
IPO. Yeah,
which
it
is
was like
why guys, it's important to even look at when an IPO is coming out because it can actually affect market movements.
yeah. So people
Right?
are
So
going to sell,
yeah,
yeah,
people
to
will
buy
withdraw to
if
buy.
they think that this stock is going to perform, and they hey, I want to get into it. They're gonna sell that, so then you're gonna have more sellers. The
Yeah.
price is going to go down, and then you're gonna like, why is the price going? What is going on? And then oh, okay, this is what is happening.
And then boom, as it's listed, it just go down because people sell out same time. It's a
Yes.
market strategy. It's a way to manipulate the market. Um, Lucas JA says VM Wealth, which uses the JC's trader platform and NB Capital Market online platform, is simple to use too. And the Sagicor also use the J Trader platform as well. So y'all, we're just throwing out a lot of gems here. You can't afford to miss it. Make sure you're taking notes. Lucas AJA also says, when I saw how much my portfolio fell last March, on the day the first COVID case was
COVID, yeah.
announced, my heart dropped to the ground. I never checked for months, and then I bought stocks are much, much less. Listen to me, Lucas AJA. All of we go through it.
Yeah,
All
the
of us been
prices
through it.
prices fell when the COVID, because it just panic. That was panic.
That
That was
was
panic.
panic selling,
Panic,
right?
panic selling. Yeah,
Hmm.
people. I
And so
mean,
a lot of persons would have, but but if you look at it in the positive light, as Lucas said, would have done, is to just look at it as
buy
an
more.
opportunity to buy more, because at that time stocks were at their all-time low, and I'm sure a lot of big companies and big guns were just waiting on that opportunity to just go back into the market. Look at the stocks now, they want to look like they're recovering, so
Yeah, they're on a
it's
slow. They
also,
and it's coming back. It's
yeah,
coming
so,
back.
so you have to be patient. You have to be patient with the market and just allow the market to do what it's doing. If it's money that you can afford to lose, allow it to do what it do. But still keep abreast of your information though.
We don't want you to lose any money,
We
but we
don't want
want
you
you
to
to.
look
You have to. There's some risk that is involved when you invest.
right when you're
There's some amount of
investing.
risk, and you have to understand the risks that are involved. And are you
And
willing to
prepare
take
your
those risks?
mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Lucas AJA also said, we were talking about this earlier. Lucas AJA, thank you for bringing it up again. And that's Cisco IPO, which opened just last week. Winston and I were having a conversation re the Fesco IPO, and yeah, man, it shows it's a Jamaican owned company, so that's very interesting to actually see a Jamaican owned company being listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Not saying that it's the first, but it's
Yeah,
really
there are others.
refreshing. Yeah, but it's really refreshing to see when more Jamaican companies are being added. But as we were speaking, some of the things that they're looking forward to doing is selling gas, like real cooking gas for you to use in your kitchen. In expansion, looking to open more gas stations, which signifies growth, but we must also take into consideration over time, would it be lasting due to the different changes in climate change and alternative sources of energy? Would it be adequate? All these things are things we need to factor in this sector. Go ahead,
It,
Winston.
it is. Yeah, I do remember we speaking on that. Like in the prospectus, you remember we spoke about the prospectus.
Yeah.
You have to look at the companies. What are they plan to do for the future? Will it be around 10, 5, I mean, 5, 10, 20 years from now? And we're saying that with the push to be the environmental friendly, so a lot of persons are going with electric cars. We see Tesla, hybrid cars. I've seen a number of
Yeah.
hybrid cars out here in Jamaica that can run on both fuel and electric and so forth.
Mhm.
So that can be
And the
a
competitors,
threat,
the competitors too.
yeah, a threat to it. But
Hmm.
it varies. So you have to read the prospectus, get financial advice to see if this is a company that you would want to invest in, and see where it goes from there.
At the end of the day, the decision is yours. We can
Yeah.
basically tell you what our opinions are, but you are the persons who ultimately will choose if you want to do that. Especially if you're a short-term trader. I mean, the options are limited for you. Diego Scott says, exactly, Lucas said, there's a difference between trading and investment. Big difference. Definitely. Um, Lucas AJA said, DM Wealth sends a daily market recap email by 5 to 7 p.m. each weekday, and NTB Capital Market sends it weekly. Wealth also puts it on their website for all to see. You don't have to be a client. And I see that Lucas AJA is a VM Wealth trader. That's the platform you use most of the time. But it look like you use JMB too, because you say you love the money line, and you're full of money, oh. But I know that Sagicor also does the same thing. You get a statement of information every single day at the end of each trading day, or sometimes weekly statements of information.
Yeah,
So
so
it's good to
most
just
of the
keep up.
financial, if
Yeah.
not all, they provide the information based on
Yeah.
how the
So
stock
it's
market
just to keep up
providing.
with
I
it.
mean, performing.
Keep up with your emails at all times. If you're going to the trading, they're going to probably email you. So keep up with that. So that brings us to the next question. What amount would you advise a beginner to invest?
Oh, all right. What? I mean, I really It's based on what you can afford. So based on your income and your expenditure, what do you think you can afford to invest on in stocks? And not just in stocks, just any investment instruments that you're actually interested in. What can you afford? Remember, we don't want to put you out of your way. And one thing that I would advise persons to do is a lot of persons they would save to spend. Most persons save to spend. There's nothing wrong with that. We need people to spend because if nobody spend, the economy would just go down. So we need people
Right.
to spend. We like when people spend, but you have to save to invest. And I was telling you one time that Brian Tracy once said that if you cannot save, the seeds of greatness are not within you. So if
Yes, I remember that.
yeah, Brian Tracy, The Miracle of Self-Discipline. A
Yeah.
pretty good book, and and the audiobook is also is pretty good. So you can listen. It's like probably
So
an
remind
hour.
us of what's the name of the book again?
The,
Just
Mir-
for those who are interested.
Miracle of Self-Discipline
The
by
Miracle of
by
Self-Discipline by
Brian
Brian Tracy.
Tracy by Brian Tracy. Brian
Okay,
Tracy.
thank you.
So it's based on your income and your expenditure, and it's based on the broker that you're gonna go with. So which financial institution you're gonna utilize? You have to think about that. What's the amount that they require you to start with?
Okay.
And it's not just, as I stated, it's not just one time. You can't just invest like one time. It has to be a continuous.
Continuous
That's how,
process.
yeah, that's how I find stuff. That's how I grow my
And build your
portfolio.
capital.
You build your capital.
And
So
over time, when you're earning, just add more.
yeah. So and
Yeah.
you can use that. You can, and the dividends, when you get dividends, if and when you get dividends,
Reinvest.
you can reinvest. You can use it to do whatever you want. You can reinvest it. You can put the order on it to the bank so that they can send it directly back to your account, to your stock account, or to another savings account somewhere. So it's up to you.
Right. And I know for the J Trade platform, you can do direct deposit to it. So for JMB Moneyline, you can also do direct deposits to it. But if you find yourself in a position where you don't really understand the process, there's also an automated service of standing orders. But
Mm-hmm.
the banks will charge you a fee. So that would kind of eliminate you from going into the bank to actually deposit in your account. You can do it through direct deposits or the standing orders.
And for some banks, what you can do, like if you get your salary, it depends, fortnightly or monthly, and it goes directly to your bank account, you can transfer it from your regular savings account to your
Investment.
investments or your capital market account. So
Right.
some banks will allow that based
Yes.
on the
Uh,
online platform.
and then it also depends on the primary account that you get paid.
Yeah.
So because if that would work for if it's your primary account and you just send it over to the investment account. But
Mm-hmm.
say for example it's from another banking institution, no, you the direct deposits are the
Yeah.
standing orders.
For that.
All right, Lucas AJA said, nope, it's Moneyline 95% of the time. That's right, Lucas AJA. Lucas AJA also said, but I opened accounts with most of the financial institutions. Great. So you would have a wealth of knowledge the various institutions. Natisha says, I foresee Sagicor and JMB reaching out to you one day. Just watch and see. Because the amount of free ads that them get from you. Listen to me, Natisha. I receive it in Jesus' name. Sagicor JMB. Remember to sponsor my video. I receive it, Natisha. Thank you so much, guys, who are just joining the live. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, comment, and share with your friends because we want everybody to get this wealth of information. And that brings us to the next question. We're coming down now. We're coming down. We're almost through. What are some of your winning stories in trading stocks?
All right. I'm guessing the ones that have been performing exceptionally well. And I bought about, we think, at $7 something, so couple cents. When I bought it at the IPO price,
Right.
and I remember when it was like $18 at one point in time, 20. was like 2021. I don't remember. I remember it was pretty high, like probably double,
Mm-hmm.
triple the amount that I invested in. So that was one of the winning stories. I mostly invest in banks, financial institutions. So I have VMBS. So I bought
Oh.
VMBS. I bought JMMB stocks.
Boop.
Um, which one else? Um, I do have Proven,
Mm-hmm.
both the Jamaican and the US Proven. I have Carreras. So I bought
Ooh.
Carreras back then. But and also Mayberry. But you have to remember, and I bought these things when they're like $2.
Long time, dirt cheap,
Long time.
dirt
Yeah, so I
cheap.
know they're sometimes they can go I mean when it was booming, like Mayberry was like $8, $9.
But I do see careers. In the last week, careers have been increasing. I was like, whoa!
Yeah.
When I checked the platform, I was like, whoa! It's like it made it. It's almost like it made a big leap based on what I've been checking over the period of the time. So that was actually good because that's one of the stocks that actually pays good dividends,
Dividends, yeah, they do pay
consistent
good.
and consistent dividends. So though the
And I
pandemic
find I
hit,
find I find Express I also I dabbled in Express Catering Limited.
I
I
was
found that
wondering about that, but I didn't. I
yeah,
didn't.
yes.
Mhm. So I do know that the Carreras is one of the stocks that has consistent dividends. It's an call consistently. So though the pandemic, they still gave it the dividends. I know that some companies had to withhold the dividends after a certain
Yeah.
time due to the uncertainty and stuff like that. Carreras wasn't one of them, and that's a plus for me again when it comes down to them. Lucas
And then
AJA.
but then you have preference shares, So preference shares will still because I have JMB preference shares
Yeah.
from the ordinary shares and they still pay
Yeah.
dividends. I still get preference shares
Oh yes, I
dividends.
got from JMB too. But you got JMB dirt cheap. I got it. I didn't get it dirt cheap, but um, yeah, but it still work out because I got it in dividends. Uh, Lucas JA said JMB just updated Moneyline 2 weeks ago too. Another JMB endorsement. JMB, you hear that? Over here talking about you. So you need to sponsor this video, please and thanks. Thank you. Lucas AJA says, Siboni. Siboni for what? That was one of your success stories. Let us know. Lucas AJA also said, I only bought it for nostalgia. I didn't expect to see a profit of so much. Okay, so I
Okay.
guess it's a success story indeed. I didn't buy Siboni. Did you buy Siboni, Winston? No, but Lucas did actually did, and that's a success story. So we're over here winning. That's great news. Awesome, good job. Next question. What are some of okay? We just asked that. What are some mistakes you have made over the 10 years that you have been buying and selling stocks?
Um uh, there are some companies that one and two companies that I regret not buying. So I remember when Separate came out, I think it was like what was like 30 something, was it like 30 something dollars when Separate came out? And I was like, oh, that's pretty expensive. I don't think he's gonna maintain that 30. I think he's gonna dip. So I was waiting for it. So when it hit the market, it was going to dip. It didn't dip, it went up.
It went up, and you missed out on that
And I missed
one.
out on that one. I was like, whoa. And
Oh,
then
oh, you know what we forgot to mention before I even continue with the story? The old limit orders and stop orders and so on. You can
yeah.
probably go and market execution.
So all right, I'm gonna speak on that afterwards. So
Mm-hmm.
so with another one that I regret not not buying was no, another regret that I had was selling too early.
Me too.
So
Guilty.
I had a stock and it was just not moving the way that I want. But this was earlier. This was when I just started it.
Yeah.
And it was just not moving. It wasn't performing the way I wanted to. And I went in and the broker was like,
Holy.
no, no, because she was really nice. She was really kind. And she always called me and said, have you been to this meeting, that meeting? And I said, no, no, I haven't been there. I haven't had the time. I said, okay, but there's a stock I want to sell. He said, no, remember, it's not short term. Stocks is long term. So maybe you want to hold on to it. I said, no, it's not doing anything. I want to sell it. And
Yeah.
then a couple of years after looking at that stock, then I said,
You wish you did keep it.
uh,
That's
maybe
me.
I should have listened to her.
That's me and Cygnus. When I told the broker that
So
stock now move from me buy this stock one place, and the broker said no, you have to give it time and whatever. And then now that I look at Cygnus, I'm like,
so
one
sometimes you
cry.
just have to just hang in there. Remember, stocks is a long
Yeah,
term. It is a
yeah.
long term.
All right. So go ahead with the explanation now of the different order types, like limit orders, stop orders, market execution.
All right. So basically, what you can all right. So a market order, you ask your broker to buy and sell stocks at market price. So if a share is at $10, it's being traded at $10 on the market, then that would more or less be the market price that you're going to get it. So limit order now is you set the price at which I think you set the price at which you want the stock to be bought. So even though the price is at $10, but you said no, I'm not going to buy it at 10. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna set the limit so that it can be at $8. I want to buy it at 8. I think based on the charts, it's going
Right.
to go down to 8 because I see, those are where the support level is at, and probably will break the support level and probably go even lower. So you can set a limit, or you can set a limit to sell at a particular price. You don't think that it's going to be $10. You don't want to sell at $10, even though that's the market price. You can set it to be sold at a higher level, probably like at $13 or $12, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now you have you have a stop order. So a stop order is, you approximate like the buying or selling price of a stock. And when the stock has reached that price, it becomes a market order. So yeah,
Okay, awesome. So Winston, would you say what do you trade? Limit orders, stop orders, or
limit,
market
limit,
price? Limit
limit,
order. Why?
limit
What's the
order.
reason? You get more value for your money.
I think I get more value for them. And remember, you're trying unless I know that it's never going to go there like in
Then
the
you do a quick
foreseeable future,
market
then I'll just
execution.
run with the market. But if I know that all right, there's going to rise, it's going to increase over a period of time, and then when it
Yeah.
hits that, then okay. And then when you look at the trajectory over a 30-day, 90-day, over a year, you can see where it goes up, like probably a couple of dollars, and then it goes down, and it goes up again, it goes down. So you can actually set it to buy at a particular price, and
Yeah.
then when it buys, then you set it to
To
sell,
sell.
and then you set it to
Buy
buy again,
again.
and then you set it to sell. So because it's going
Yeah.
up and down, so and then that's how you make money. That's how you
And
make
it
money.
normal market moves in like waves, up
Waves,
and
yeah.
down. Yeah. Right. So Natisha says, phew, Winston dividends rolling, man. You know, hear me say he's got the money. Lucas AJA says, remember the dividend mandate form that you can sign up instructing that your dividends go to a certain account or
Points
accounts.
are account, yeah.
Definitely. Yes, because I had to sign one of the ones when I was opening my JMMB account. So it had to be mandated for where the dividends would have
Where you
gone.
want it to
So
go. Yeah.
I don't get my dividends in check. They just go straight to the bank account. So that's a good point to note because I have that question. So that's a good point to note. All right. Um, what are what are some okay, what advice, and this is the last question. Oh my goodness, such an awesome night. We are now at the last question. And this question is, what advice would you give to someone new to trading on the stock market or someone who intends to start investing in stocks?
Hmm.
What advice do you have to give?
You have to start somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to start. It doesn't matter how small. Rome wasn't built in a day. That's the
Right.
common expression, everybody. And the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. So you have to, it doesn't matter how small, just get out there, get information, to get your information, speak to a broker, visit Jamaica Stock Exchange. You probably can't visit them now during the pandemic, but you can call, you can get information, YouTube videos. And then now, when you think you have enough information, then you select a broker. And when you have a rapport, a good rapport, you think you can trust this broker is, I mean, they're all trained and so they should provide you with valuable information.
Adequate
Then,
amounts, yeah.
yeah, you can make the first leap and uh, and then you continue because it's not just you end no. You just just buy a chair and that's it. It's a it's a long term thing. Once you have, and it's your money, you work hard for it. You just have to manage it. You just have to keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, listen to what is happening in the financial realm, read the newspapers, the financial section of the Gleaner or the Observer, wherever you get your financial information, radio, television, and just keep abreast.
Or the
So,
Jamaica Stock
at the
Exchange.
Jamaica Stock Exchange website, call them, find out. Yeah, that's what I would recommend.
Right, because they get
Yeah.
more on time information. By the time you get the gleaner, then the information they don't post long time. People don't make the moves and everything long time ago. But the Jamaica Stock Exchange has very good information. And boy, Winston, I don't know about you, but this wealth of knowledge tonight, I am just overwhelmed by such good information. Good overwhelmed, by the way. And I am sure my SC gang enjoyed too. You look like you have something else to say. Did I cut you?
No.
Oh,
That was
okay.
it. I mean, yeah, that was
Okay.
it. But you have to start. So just start
Mhm.
and don't be afraid. And as I stated, don't use all your money. Don't use
Yeah,
everything that you
remember
have.
the
Don't
emergency fund?
don't
I
yeah,
do have
don't
a
do that.
video. I do have a video on how to create an emergency fund, so you can watch it
And
after
it
this
and
live.
and it's not you don't gamble. This is not a casino. You're investing or you're trading. This is not a casino where you
Not
just
a
go there and
casino.
just put it all on red or roulette and you just put it all on black. No.
Yeah. All right. So just to wrap up for those who are just joining at the end of the live, we want to kind of give them the process, like the step by step process as to how they need to go about trading on the JC. So the first thing that you need to do is to do your research. Now, when we talk about doing your research, you're going to research in on the companies that you are interested to be part owners of, and you also need to do research on the companies that you want to be your broker. All right. So those are the two areas that you need to research. Firstly, when you do find the companies that you're interested in, that and the companies that you're interested in to be your brokers, that's when you go to those company now or that company to tell them that look, I am interested in buying and selling on the stock market.
Yeah, so the
How can
financial
you assist
institution.
me? Right, the financial institution, which would be your broker. You ask them, that's when you go to them now and you tell them the stocks you're interested in, and ask them for their advice, ask them how they can assist you, get the information. Don't forget to ask about the commissions and fees. That's very important because you want to calculate that at all times in your profits and your losses so you can know where your money is at. All right, so that's the second thing you need to do. And then that would pretty much wrap up the rest of the process for you. The rest of it is for you to just keep abreast of the information. Once you've purchased your stocks, keep abreast of the information on the JC website, the Jamaica Stock Exchange, and you can also install the JC app to keep track of the different stocks that you have purchased. It's at your fingertips. Somebody asked me earlier about, I think it was Diego who asked me if there are any apps that you can really look on and check for the stocks that you have. I did introduce one to you guys that I use. You get five of your stocks. You see five of your stocks for free. If you want to add more, you have to pay for the plan, the premium plan. All right, so you can check out that app. The name is Watch App, the Watch App, WATH app, and it has a W with a circle around it in the Google Play Store. I'm not sure about the Apple Store. I didn't check it in the Apple Store, but that's one of the apps that you can also look at. As it relates to information now, where you need to literally know how to read their financial statements. And as Lucas AJA spoke about the support resistance, moving averages, candlesticks, and all these things, you can find information on that on Google. Google is a very good institution for you to learn about a lot of things as it concerns trading, as well as YouTube videos like this one that will kind of inform you a little bit more on what you need to know as it relates to that. Also, pay attention to the prospectus, because that always has information that you, as the person who is a potential investor, need to find the information. So pay attention to that. I can speak about the brokers that I use for those who might be wondering: JMB and Sagicor, and I know that Winston used NCB, and I know that somebody else used JN, Scotia, and a whole host of the others. Lucas AJA says, JMB not leaving out. Choose them. If I tell you all I wait for NCB Capital Market, give me a JCSD number. Shake my damn head. It was years. JMB, the JCSD number is automatic. JMB is the way to go. JMB better sponsor the video here because of me, I praise them. But I am sure Winston have something other than that. Because Winston use NCB. You can't just Winston place like
I
that.
mean, different. I mean, everybody has different experiences.
Here you know with your political answer.
Well, I have to be balanced.
Right.
And since I mean, like I have different investment account at different places.
Right.
And I think I do it based on their strengths and what they specialize in.
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, it was the first one. So I started with
And I guess in
capital market.
them old time traditional times, there would have been the best option at that
At the
time.
time, because they were the
But a
ones
lot
that
of
were really,
competition.
yeah, there wasn't really,
It wasn't
or probably didn't even know about them, but they were like forefront with it.
And then
And
at the time when you could have gone with cheap, you can't go in with
cheap,
cheap
yeah.
no.
No, you had to.
Yeah, no, you have to have the big walk. You can't go in there with no cheap right now. Right? So JMB all the way for the cheap. So if you only have like $10,000 to invest, JMB or Sagicor for the newbies, the starters, cheap. But NCB, I know you have to have a certain amount. You can check them out too. They're lucrative. They've been around for years on end. So they are definitely a lucrative option for being brokers. You have Beta Investment, SSMC, you have their investments, and all the old host of other companies that are venturing into the markets these days. It's Alex says, of this live. Pop my collar. There from start, only for information. Love your work, Shan. Thank you so much. It's Alex. That makes me feel like I'm actually doing something right over here. Lucas JA says, I'm actually taking about 7 coworkers on Tuesdays to JMB. But I see Lucas JA doing recruitment for JMB. Oh, them really have to come endorse this video. And them have to endorse Lucas JA too. Right? And it's good. You see, Winston, we spoke about having positive friends and positive energies around you to help you to from point A to point B, because here Lucas JA has been sharing the information and their experience with their coworkers, and about 7 of them ready to get on the ball with him or her, because I don't know if it's a male or a female. And you see, so that's a positive change right there. And that's why I keep saying that here in the NC family, we only deal with positivity and helping each other. So thanks for sharing that information, Lucas AJA. Lucas AJA, what a whole heap of message. Well, I'm taking Capital Markets was better for funding the account. Easy cheese to move money from NCB bank account to Capital Market and vice versa takes second. Precisely because they're connected. JMB took about 30 minutes and you couldn't move from JMB investment to JMB bank. However, with the new update 2 weeks ago, we're good to go. That's right. JMB 10,000 open, yes. Capital Market for me was $0. Got a bond account and a stock account same time, but couldn't trade for years. Why was that? I'm curious to know why was that, Lucas AJA. It's the first I hear about a situation like that. You got a bond account and a stock account, but couldn't trade for years. There might have been a glitch at that time because that's unusual. Natisha says, going to say good night, guys. I will watch the rest when uploaded. Shannon Swinton for your advice. Be safe, guys.
You're welcome.
It's actually finished, Natisha, so you were here for the end of it. But remember to watch it over so the information can stick. So that is a wrap, y'all. I think we're all talked out. I think we covered all stops. I don't think we left any stones unturned, Winston. I think we basically spoke about all tonight, and whatever we didn't speak about, Lucas the JA mentioned. So so we'll fully cap everything tonight. I'm just going to go ahead and ask the NC family, do you have any questions or concerns you want us to answer before we go tonight? Let me know. Also, while you're in the process of typing that, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, comment, and share with your friends. Remember, we can't keep this information to ourselves. I don't see any questions coming, so I guess I'm gonna call it a wrap for tonight. I love to come out early, and you guys stay with us right through, and we appreciate you guys. Winston, I can't even tell you how thankful I am that you took this time out of your
Not a problem.
night.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. And I hope in future lives I can have you back again. I see some persons telling you thanks as well. So let me just go ahead and share them
You're
with you.
welcome.
Them narrate me. I went back so many times. They emailed me saying I had money with them and I set them right, and then wraps in 2 days or so I got the account number. You see, Lucas AJA, that shows that everybody have different experiences at the different banking institutions that we go to, because I've never had that experience, and Winston never had that experience either. Shandy Ahmed says, thank you all for much info received from Boston. OMG, we have Boston in the building. Thank you, Shandy, for joining us. Lucas JA says, thanks, Winston, for your knowledge and for explaining very well, especially for first timers. That's right. Big up, Winston, the OG. Winston, my NC gangers love you. That you have to go have you back on here because you obviously did a good job at conveying the information to them. Thank you so much again, Winston. Thank you, NC gangers.
Thanks
Thank
for having
Ola
me.
Ono. Thank JMB. Thank Sagicor, because we're thanking them from now because they're gonna sponsor this video. So I want to thank you guys for coming out so much, and I appreciate y'all. Do not forget to hit like, subscribe, and share before you leave, and make sure you comment. Don't forget to share with your friends. All right, love you. I'm not talk too long now. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.